Welcome back to the Creatia Conversation, your number one news source for all that nerd-ish on Pornhub. I'm your host this Monday afternoon, the Pornhub Poppy, the Sultan of Spirit Swallow, Daddy Delgado, as he is Vince. And joining me is my co-host, my very good friend. He is the Warden Matt Ritter and 1/3 of the Smack and Raw podcast. The biggest third of the Smack and Raw podcast. How's it going,
In
Matt?
all ways possible.
How's it going, Matt? How you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm all right, man. It's nice to talk to you. Unfortunately, work schedules and other like coworkers not showing up to work prevented me from showing up to work on Friday night for Smack and Raw. But you made it, thankfully. How was that? How was the experience without me?
When you're as big as me in all aspects, Travis, that's exactly how fractions work. Work was good. The show was good. We had fun.
Yeah.
I cut a great promo for dog.com on Matt Riddle. So that was fun. Talked about, hard cocks. One thing we didn't talk about, which you and I will talk about today, is a little bit of WWE Backlash, which I watched over the weekend. You watched over the weekend.
We did.
I thought about you the entire time.
Why? Because they were in Puerto Rico and you
Bad
see me
Bunny was hosting.
Yeah.
Rey Mysterio was there. The LWO was there.
I popped for Carlito the most.
Yeah, so
that was the biggest pop of the night. But no, it was a good time. Backlash. That's we usually start off the show with what you've been watching, what you've been like playing. But what we watched this weekend was Backlash. So yeah, like it was a pretty fun show. We didn't do a straight up recap for it, unfortunately. Work schedule and whatnot prevented me from doing Spitter Swallow, even though I may or may not do it at the end of the week. We'll see. It was a fun show. Io Sky versus Bianca Belair started off the night. Yeah, they even had Savio Vega's old ass out there. Shout out to Savio Vega, Theo Savio, as Bad Bunny referred to him. Did you still need some translations? I know you said you needed some translations because
during the pre-show, during all of the backstage segments, I really wish that I had you and Benji on a live call so I could get the interpretation of what was being said, so I knew what was going on, because they don't tell you what's being said. So unless you're bilingual, you just kind of like, I know I took 2 years of Spanish in high school.
Yeah.
That was 20 years ago.
Okay.
I remember certain words. My comprehension even back then, especially when they speak fast in like regular conversation, wasn't great back then, let alone now. So I might catch a word here or there, but I have no idea what's going on.
Yeah, I'm gonna let you know right now, even for us Mexicans and other Latinos, Puerto Ricans are one of the faster speaking Latinos in the whole planet, honestly, to be honest with you. But it was a good conversation. Rey Mysterio came out, just kind of like hyped up Bad Bunny, wished him luck, said he had a friend here that had like a gift for him. He said Uncle Savio, they hyped each other up. It was a good moment. The crowd in Puerto Rico was fan-fucking-tastic.
Oh yeah, it was great.
When Bad Bunny came out, so you may not know this, right? But that's a song that he did back in 2017, back when he was still kind of like reggaeton, like trap artist in terms of his genre. He even had Ric Flair there before he was controversial with the whole other stuff that came to light.
He's
recently.
Always been controversial. It's just people started taking notice to it.
Yeah, exactly. So he was in the music video. He even did his signature woo into it. So the fact that the crowd was so like in tune with the lyrics with like a 6-year-old song was fantastic. It was a great vibe, great environment.
Do you think that should have main evented?
Oh, 100%. And it's not even just because I'm Latino and I love Bad Bunny and I love like this whole LWO Judgment Day stuff that's been happening. It's mostly just because if you look at the energy the crowd had during that match and then afterwards, like they looked a little deflated. They looked like they were out of gas by the time that Cody and Brock were like knee deep in their match, especially with the way the match finished, with him getting to the Kimura lock and like pinning his shoulders and barely sneaking away with the victory. That was kind of like Not the highest note to end the pay-per-view, in my opinion.
So let's talk about that. Props to fucking Cody Rhodes because he went in there, and I saw a lot of people saying, you know, oh, hard times, Brock's going to go in and squash him like Brock does. Cody Rhodes went into the ring with Brock Lesnar, one of the most lethal, feared, dangerous kayfabe competitors in WWE, and stood toe to toe and whooped Brock. He gave it to Brock as good as he got it from Brock. You know, Brock was not dominating Cody Rhodes that whole match. Like, they were equals in that match, and Cody came out on top. And that is the way a top tier star that you want to push towards a world heavyweight championship should be presented. Because we've watched Brock go in and suplex city a lot of top stars and dominate them for the most part. And then you get guys like Bryan Danielson who will, you know, have a little bit of a comeback, blah, 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 but Brock wins. Famously, outside of one or two matches, Undertaker has almost never beaten Brock Lesnar, and he's the greatest wrestler of all time. So, like, props to Cody Rhodes.
Yeah, props to the American Nightmare, Cody Rhodes. But overall, the pay-per-view, I thought it was a swallow for me, if I'm being honest with you. Like, there were very little misses. Even like the Omos and Seth Rollins match was really good. And you know what? I see so many people were saying it on Twitter, especially after WrestleMania and especially now after Backlash. Omos, even though he takes all the L's, I don't think he's had a bad match. He's a solid wrestler for like what he's a serviceable guy. Like, he's not like your manager of your retail store, but he's a solid shift lead. Like, or he's a solid crew worker, stock boy. Like, he knows he does his job. He does it well.
Well, Omos should be an attraction, and that's the thing. And I believe it's one of the reasons why you said you're kind of okay with him and Brock not being drafted to a specific brand, because these are guys that should be used sparingly. They shouldn't show up every week on your TV doing stuff. And I want to be clear with that. If anyone from WWE is listening, do not give us weekly Omos squash matches over local talent. Bring them in, use them for big shows like this show in Puerto Rico, you know, your big four, your big five, things like that. Let him have matches. That's how he should be utilized. We do need to feel like he's a threat. He's going to have to string together a couple wins here or there. I get guys like Seth Rollins and stuff like that. You know, he's still young and he's still green, but Andre the Giant, not saying they should book him like Andre. Well, exactly. Well, Andre was undefeated for how long before, you know, that whole
who was it? Who was it that said? I think it was Road Dogg that said it. We talked about on the last week's Sketch podcast with Will and Justin, where he said that Omos has more potential than Andre the Giant
as an in-ring competitor. Yeah, I mean, Andre had the I believe it's acromegalia. You know, the same thing that Big Show had with the tumor on the pituitary gland that made him grow so big. Big Show had surgery on his to stop it. Andre did not. And as your bones and everything keep growing, everything that you can do starts to become limited, harder to move, walk. You know, you're aging so quickly and everything's growing so much. Omos is not going to have those limitations. He's athletic. He took a hell of a fucking curb stomp from Seth off the top rope to finish that and sold the shit out of it.
He did. And what was great about it was that they leveled up the curb stomp because they had to, because Seth went for the curb stomp and tried to like put him down. And like, I've never said this out loud about another grown man, but Omos's neck game is strong for him to withstand that curb stomp and not even get hit. He didn't budge. He didn't move. That's crazy to me.
No, and that's the thing. And that's why he needs to be portrayed this way. But again, he's going to need a string. You can't do to him like you did to Braun Strowman, where he's out there, he's this big beast guy, but he takes L's. Big Show, same thing. Like, he's going to have to string together a couple wins.
Yeah.
And a couple dominating wins over superstars that matter, so that you don't lose the luster of Omos. But no, he, like you said, Pretty Kyle said it. He has not had a bad match. He's really good. We just need to kind of get behind him and give him a couple wins. Seth was not, especially right now with that World Heavyweight title tournament coming up, it made sense to put Seth over, but we need to start putting him over some guys and get some
Well,
wins and make them feel dominating.
I'm glad you brought that up because we're gonna transition right now to that time of the episode where we talk about some news. It's that newsy time. Matt, can you do your best Mario
News
impression?
time.
There you go. There you go. And we're gonna kick things off with some WWE news because it's kind of quick and simple. You know, like a little quickie out of the way, and then that way you're ready to go for round 2 and 3. So you were talking about the tournament, right? And WWE actually announced the competitors for the tournaments. There are 6 from Raw, 6 from SmackDown. We won't get into the logistics dispute that we have about SmackDown competitors competing for a Raw fucking title. Okay, Matt, go ahead. You raised your hand.
Hold on. No. It's fine here. I got you. If you want to hear Vince and I debate and discuss logistics about Raw and SmackDown, the draft, and how all of this should work, you can either join us every Friday at 11 p.m. Central Time, twitch.tv/Creatia World, or live on youtube.com/Creatia World, where you can find all things Creatia World, including the Creatia Conversation, which you may or may not be watching now. If you're listening to it later, we appreciate you, but come check us out live. You can subscribe, you can like, you can comment, help us get in the algorithm. If you have an Amazon Prime account, you can link that to your Twitch account, and you can give us a free sub, or any of your favorite content creators a free sub, and we would appreciate it. So if you want more in-depth WWE, AEW discussion, or our thoughts on all of this real in-depth, come join us there. Yeah. But also check out everything Creatia World has.
For sure. Yeah, so pivoting back over to Newsy Time, by the way, Will says that Vince knows all about quickies. I do. But I do still believe in foreplay. It was established. That's canon. That's canon, Mateo.
I didn't say anything.
I know you didn't, but you smirked. So I just had to address the elephant in the room. Anyways, the competitors for Raw and SmackDown. So let's start off with the non-problematic competitors, which are the Raw ones. So no surprises here. We saw Seth Rollins announce, Cody Rhodes announce, Finn Balor. That makes sense. I think that's a solid pick as well. Shinsuke Nakamura, you want to build him up as a main eventer type of guy. You include him in that tournament. Damian Priest, so 2 members of Judgment Day are included in this tournament. And The Miz rounds up the 6 competitors. So we don't actually know the matchups, but we do know that 3 of these competitors will face off in the triple threat. The other 3 will face off in the second triple threat, concluding in the main event or a singles match at the end of the night between the winners of the 2 triple threats facing the winners of the same match formats over on SmackDown. Let's just highlight only the Raw portion and then talk about the SmackDown competitors, Matt. Personally speaking, like, how do you feel about the 6 competitors chosen? Do you have any qualms about any of them?
You said Raw. So off of Raw, it's Damian Priest, Finn Balor, Cody Rhodes, Seth Rollins, and who?
Let's see. Cody Rhodes, Damian Priest, Finn Balor, Seth Rollins, Shinsuke Nakamura, and The Miz.
I mean, I don't have any issues with that. I am curious to know where Drew McIntyre is.
Yeah, that's a big one. Well, there are rumors that he might be on his way out. So
there were rumors. That when I look at the Raw roster, the Raw men's roster, I'd probably say that is the only. And because I saw someone shitting on Cody Rhodes, and Cody Rhodes gets handed everything, blah blah blah. I'm like, you're fucking crazy. But you know what? People, you like what you like. You do what you do. You say what you want to say. Like that. It is what it is. I'm not going to get into that. I'd say out of everybody, Damian Priest is probably the one that I'm kind of surprised. He's not the top star of his faction.
Well, you know, I mean, he had a high profile match. The only one that had a high profile match between the men's group last night. I mean, over the weekend.
I understand that. I don't see Damian Priest on the level yet, whereas I understand Finn Balor. So if I were to substitute Drew for anybody, it would probably be Damian Priest on that list, because otherwise it is a list of former world champions everywhere if you include NXT with Shinsuke Nakamura.
That's true. Well, except for
the ICUP. The Miz is a former world champion.
Oh, I thought you said NXT champion. Sorry.
No. I said former world champions everywhere if you include NXT, because Shinsuke's never won a big one in the main roster, but he was NXT champion. He was ICUP champion over in Japan.
Okay, so I'm gonna say this. I'm not opposed to anyone being in this tournament that was announced, including Cody Rhodes, because he's not going to win this tournament. He's going to come out to like in the singles match. He might win his triple threat match, or he might not even get pinned in his triple threat match and leads into something else. For all we know, Brock Lesnar comes in and costs him like the match, and then we still get more Brock and Cody at Night of Champions in Saudi.
It's so cute that you guys are like, Cody's not going to win this, and you guys still have hopes that he's going to face Roman and do things. It really is.
Shout out to Justin. He's in the YouTube chat.
What up, Juss?
By the way, how do you like the new Get Show logo with the all that?
Oh,
logo?
I love it. It's awesome.
It's cool, right?
It's cool shit.
But here's the thing: he didn't even advertise it. He just put it as a new profile picture. He didn't even send out a tweet hashtag new profile picture or anything.
That's why we need Daryl back on social media.
Well, Daryl makes some comments. But yeah, going back to what you're saying, Daryl makes comments that are a little out of pocket. So Justin's.
But that's why listen. I came to know Get Yo podcast because Daryl. All right.
Okay.
And then I fell in love with Justin. He's now my second favorite Filipino in the world behind Shotzi Blackheart. But my favorite one with the penis.
Okay.
But Daryl being out of pocket and saying some shit, like that's what got me interested. Like that's where I was introduced to the Get Yo podcast. So,
fair enough. But okay. Pivoting back over to the competitors, I think the only one that you could probably say is maybe Damian Priest, and I would replace him with Drew McIntyre. The Miz isn't a bad option. I just don't see him at that level. But you know what? Why not? He's a
two-time Grand Slam champion.
Yeah, I just don't care enough.
John Cena at WrestleMania.
Yes, I know. I just don't care enough about the Miz. I'm not discrediting him, but everyone deserves there. The only one, like I said, Drew McIntyre is the one omission there that I can think of, and that's about it. Oh well, there's Gunther, but that one makes sense because you don't want him in a match that he's not going to win. If he's not going to win the tournament, you don't want him to be defeated as this dominant IC champion.
And they're kind of focusing on that IC title. So
yeah. So let's go back to the SmackDown competitors and talk about them. And that's actually a solid list right there too, because you have AJ Styles, Austin Theory, Bobby Lashley, Edge, Rey Mysterio, and Sheamus. I think my only qualm here is Austin Theory being in it. I get they're trying to build
the same reason we just said Gunther.
Yeah, and just shows you the value of the IC title versus the value of the US title to me. But everyone else in here kind of makes sense. You got legends in Edge and Rey Mysterio, Hall of Famers. In Edge and Rey Mysterio, you have probably one of the greatest mass wrestlers of all time, if not the greatest mass wrestler of all time, in Sheamus. You have AJ Styles, who's been a champion just about everywhere he's been. You have Big Spot Lashley.
You're just gonna okay.
And then of course there's Austin Theory, who they're trying to build up. So I guess that makes sense in that regard. But
well, and that's my thing is like if you're gonna do this tournament, it would like Raw is all former champions outside of Cody Rhodes, but I mean Cody Rhodes went and did his thing outside, and blah blah blah, and then obviously Damian Priest. So like. If I were them, I would have sprinkled in a couple more up and comers if they were trying to push some guys. Maybe like put LA Knight on SmackDown, because he is, in my opinion,
he is on SmackDown.
No, put him in
the bracket.
Yeah.
I would have replaced Austin Theory with LA Knight,
and that's what I'm saying because I said he's the SmackDown counterpart to the Miz, kind of. So stuff like that. But the fact that SmackDown is on here, we know how I feel about that in general. But yeah. The competitors from SmackDown, cool. I'm not a fan of this format. I don't like this triple threat bullshit, Vince.
Well, okay. So it's cool in theory,
no,
but it gets repetitive. So they did it on the very first Raw when they did the brand split in 2016, and I liked that.
No,
but I'd rather get a regular tournament.
Exactly, and I want it in one night, and I want it to conclude in one night with a champion. I don't want to do. I understand you split the brands. So I get why they're doing it the way they're doing it, blah, blah, blah. Tournament on SmackDown, tournament on Raw, winners compete, blah, blah, blah. But if you're going to do it at pay-per-view, let everyone compete, crown a champion at the end like King of the Ring should be. I know Travis is in full agreement with that.
100%. I'm with you as well. Because here's the thing. Here are the competitors, right? This is what we have right now. And shout out to Will because he sent the graphic on Twitter. And if you look at the Raw roster, you add Drew McIntyre, that's 7. Let's remove everyone from SmackDown. All you really need is 8 people in a tournament, and that's pretty much it. You just include Drew McIntyre in there, and then if you look at the Raw roster, I'm pretty sure you can find someone else. There's Dexter Lumis, there's Johnny Gargano, there's Braun Strowman, Ricochet, Apollo Crews, someone you can build up if you want to do that. We talked about Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn. They're a tag team, but why not challenge for that new title? They're really good competitors and should be challenging for that. Maybe highlight an Odyssey Jones, and I'm neglecting a specific name on there that I don't want to see. Maybe Xavier Woods. He's not doing anything until Kofi comes back. Include him in the tournament. Give him back his King Xavier gimmick or something.
I'm just glad that specific name that took a huge L at Backlash on Saturday is not in the tournament.
That's the only positive. I'm gonna say Seth Rollins versus Bobby Lashley. Seth Rollins versus Bobby Lashley.
Okay.
That's what I'm rooting for, at least.
I'd like to see either Seth versus AJ or Seth versus Sheamus. Ideally, and this is if Cody doesn't go. If it's Cody, then I'd say Cody AJ.
Bullet Club for life. Yeah. Well, you know what, Matt? These competitors and these triple threat matches, it's going to be a tough night because they're going to start off with one triple threat, then there's going to be another triple threat, then they have the singles match at the end. And it's going to happen on Raw and SmackDown. And that's not only a strenuous task for the wrestlers, but also for us fans. And for everyone should go ahead and sign up for Dubby and get themselves some Dubby so they can last and go the distance and have the energy to go in these quote unquote tournaments. So Dubby, Matt, is an clean energy drink that is made to give you focus with no crash, jitters, or angst like other energy drinks. They also have no maltodextrin fillers and don't use artificial dyes. Dubby contains vitamins, amino acids, and nootropic at 150 milligram caffeine. The product is made in the USA in an FDA-inspected facility that strictly adheres to GMP manufacturing guidelines. Dubby has handpicked what they believe to be the 10 most critical ingredients for focus and concentration. Dubby contains important aminos and vitamins that canned energy drinks simply don't have. Dubby uses Neurofactor, a patent all-natural coffee cherry extract to help fuel you. This ingredient is what gives Dubby its laser focus and fast reflex effects, making it especially perfect for gamers or world championship competitors in tournaments or viewers of said tournaments. They disclose full ingredient amounts, and the product will never contain fillers or artificial dyes. Dubby is also sugar-free, maltodextrin-free, as I stated before, and keto-friendly. So go to w.creationworld.com and use the code CREATION to receive 10% off your order today. Again, that is w.creationworld.com. Use the code Creatia. Matt, where can they find this link?
I believe they can find it in the description.
Yeah, that's true. And you know what they could also find if they get the proper link is the link to this comicbook.com article by Matthew Aguilar, where he talks about where the potential WrestleMania 40 location is set to take place, right? So the article starts off by saying the dust is settling from WWE's thrilling and divisive WrestleMania 30 at SoFi Stadium, and WrestleMania 40 is set to take place in Philadelphia in 2024. Beyond 2024, not much was known about where WrestleMania will end up in future years, but it seems we now have a locked-in location for WrestleMania 43. The Metro Council recently approved the $2.1 billion Tennessee Titans Stadium deal. In a new interview with 104.5 The Zone, Tennessee Titans president and CEO Burke Nihill stated that WWE has committed to bringing WrestleMania to Nashville for the first time in 2027. He said WrestleMania isn't hypothetical. WrestleMania has already committed to 2027. When the deal was initially proposed for approval, WrestleMania was mentioned as one of the events Nashville hoped to host. At the time, CEO of the Nashville Convention and Visitors Corp, Butch Spyridon, said they were already looking for more opportunities with WWE after their successful SummerSlam events, and it doesn't get much bigger than WrestleMania. So, with that being said, how do you feel about a Nashville hosted WrestleMania?
Really good. So, I'm gonna try and make Philly work. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to. However, my best friend that I've known since I was 3 years old recently just moved to Nashville. He is somebody that was over when he lived out this way for every pay-per-view. He came out for WrestleMania this year, him and his girlfriend. Even though they had moved to Nashville to celebrate my birthday and do WrestleMania here with me. So having it there with them, there's a very high chance that I will attend my first WrestleMania at WrestleMania 44 if I can't make Philly work. And I might just hold off for that. Also, Will's going to be out there. Allison's going to be out there. Who knows who else? So that'll be a cool, fun time. Maybe, I hear that Will's got a little pop-up barbecue thing going on. If you go check out _Will_Gray on Twitter, you might have some info on that if you're in the Nashville area. So maybe I can get him to make me some barbecue and make my mouth water as I watch it. So go check.
I've never been to Nashville, so it'd be interesting. It's not that far. I believe it's 9,000 miles away. So if I have to, I will walk 1,000 miles to see Will in WrestleMania. But I also want to try to make Philly happen. But it's gonna have to see what financials looking like, because I'm trying to get a ring. We already got a car this weekend. So
congratulations.
Thank you. Love it, Ashley. We both fell in love. It's very rare.
You got good advice about that from someone, and everything was taken care of.
He's probably. I would arguably say he's in my Mount Rushmore of best friends that I've made throughout my lifetime. So and probably one of the main people I go to for advice. He's a Savio Vega type of older, father figure.
Wow.
Well, I would say he's Savio Vega. I'm more of a Carlito era type of guy,
Okay.
Attitude era versus ruthless aggression, just difference. But yeah, so there's the car, there's the ring. I want to get a new apartment, maybe save up for a house. So there's a lot of commitment. So we got to see if WrestleMania happens.
I wouldn't say that's the only thing mandatory, Will.
Cooking is the only thing that's mandatory for face-to-face Will and Matt time. We'll see.
Cooking is mandatory after the other mandatory things. If you want to make me breakfast in the morning.
Yeah. I mean, that'd be nice. It's a nice compliment.
There we go.
Other than butt stuff, yes. You know what? Let's pivot that. I don't have a good transition to that, but let's talk about the MTV.
You don't have a good transition for other than butt stuff?
Do you have one? Can you assist me?
Speaking of butt stuff, ladies and gentlemen, if you're into butt stuff or you need some assistance with butt stuff, you can go to Adam and Eve. Adam and Eve is the nation's largest marketer of adult products with millions of satisfied customers in the United States and all over the world. Founded in 1971, Adam and Eve is also one of the oldest names in the rapidly evolving adult industry. For more than 50 years, they have built up a reputation as a trusted and reliable adult toy store that takes pleasure and privacy seriously. When you want to shop erotic toys, Adam and Eve has it all. Men and women, straight or gay, and anywhere in between, which is exactly what we're talking about. Adam and Eve has the adult toys you're looking for, including but not limited to vibrators, dildos, anal sex toys, bondage toys, couples toys, lube, sexy gifts, and accessories. Lube is important. Unlike other adult stores, Adam and Eve stands behind all their products and offers a no questions asked return policy. So whether you bought a dildo, sex swing, or a penis ring, or maybe a butt plug, you can get a refund within 90 days if you're not 100% satisfied. So go to adamandeve.creationworld.com and use code erotica to receive 50% off one item plus free shipping on orders of $49 or more. That's adamandeve.creationworld.com and use code erotica to receive 50% off and free shipping. And Vince,
Will is still on the refurbished toys.
Where do you think they could find that link if they were looking for it, if they wanted to have some butt stuff fun?
You can find it at the butt of this video, which is the description down below. There's a lot of variety on adamandeve.com, so go ahead and check that out. And we're going to head on over to variety.com because there's an article there talking about the MTV Music, not MTV Music, Movie and TV Awards of this past year. And we have we have the winners list. There's The Last of Us, Scream 6 took top honor, so we'll talk about that, right, Matt? So let's run down the categories. I'll run down like the nominees, and then obviously we're going to highlight the winners. So best movie nominated was The Avatar: The Way of Water, Black Panther: Wakanda Forever, Elvis, Nope, Scream 6, Smile, and Top Gun Maverick. And the best movie award went to Scream 6. I know you're happy about it.
Of course it did, because it was like it was that or Wakanda Forever. And my thing is horror movies don't get enough love. So
you stressed that before.
even though I know it's the MTV Movie Awards, it's not the Oscars or whatever, to see a horror movie walk away with Best Picture, because it was fucking fantastic. Absolutely.
Yeah. So I actually watched the Scream 6 movie. We actually went to go see it. That's how you know it's a good film, if it's intriguing enough for me to want to go and watch it, because I'm not the biggest horror buff, even though I do enjoy a very good horror movie from time to time. I'm very disappointed, by the way, that Saw didn't win the fan poll vote on Twitter so that I can like talk about the Saw franchise. But I've been waiting to like
We'll get
get
there.
on that at
We'll
some
get there.
point. We'll get
We'll
there.
get there.
And it worked out because honestly, this week I'm actually working every single day this week. That's going to prevent me from doing Get Show and SmackDown Raw. So yeah, so it worked out. I probably wouldn't have been able to make it anyway. So yeah, going.
Did he just say?
Adam and Eve pleasure your dragon to the dungeon so the G spot is activated. Shout out to Justin, man. I love Justin. Best show category, Matt. Stranger Things was nominated, The Last of Us, The White Lotus, Wednesday, Wolfpack, Yellow Jackets, and Yellowstone, and The Last of Us got the honors. Big surprise.
I mean, Travis and I came on here every week on Monday and gave you guys a rundown of The Last of Us. We both really enjoyed that show. It's one of those things where I grew up in a time where video game movies and things like that, adaptations, were not fantastic. And we're in a place now where they've gotten much better, Last of Us being one of those. I fucking love the show. Love me some Pedro Pascal. And yeah, no, I'm not surprised. It was a huge show for HBO. Also, are we gonna ignore this, or you gonna
Whoa, rewind that ring. Hold up, time
penis
out.
ring?
Penis ring.
Yeah.
I mean, you're more than welcome to go ahead and do that. Camille passed 700 days as NWA Women's Champion. That's Matt's NWA news for the day. Well, that's fantastic. Just as Bianca made news in history over the weekend, being the longest reign.
It's not hard to be champion for 700 days when you're the only woman in the division.
Yeah. So, I mean, I'm not going to sit there and touch that. I'm just going to leave that alone and move on and talk about performances, because that was a good performance. And let's go to the best performance in the movie. The nominees were Austin Butler in Elvis, Florence Pugh, Don't Worry, Darling, Florence Poe, Keke Palmer in Nope, Michael B. Jordan in Creed 3, and Tom Cruise, Top Gun Maverick. Tom Cruise took the honors for best performance in the movie.
Fun fact, I only saw one of those movies, and it was Don't Worry, Darling with Florence Poe, because she is the very top of my hall pass list. I fucking love her. She was the one that played Paige in Fighting with My Family. She was she was the sister in Black Widow, who is the new Black Widow in the MCU. Had her little cameo in Hawkeye as well.
Yelena?
Yeah, she's Yelena. Fucking love her.
Yeah.
Don't Worry, Darling was fucking awesome. Enjoyed the shit out of it. I have not gotten around to seeing anything else on this list. Kate watched Elvis. I did not. I probably won't. Creed 3 is on my list. I was never a big Top Gun guy. We talked about watching it, but again, haven't got around to it. And Nope, TC gave terrible reviews to, so I am just going to put it off. And Amazon, for whatever reason, is not working on my Xbox. Like, it was just not playing stuff, and now it's saying that there's something wrong with my HDMI cable. However, every other streaming app besides Amazon works on my Xbox, so I don't think it's an HDMI cable problem. So I was going to watch it on there, but I haven't been able to because Amazon won't let me watch shit. So
yeah, fuck Amazon. Except for right now, it's letting me watch House. And by the way, I caught up to Melissa where she left off last, so now we can start binging together again starting tonight. So that should be a fun experience. And Hugh Laurie is always a good performer in TV shows, and the best performers in TV show categories nominees was Aubrey Plaza in The White Lotus, Christina Ricci in Yellow Jackets, Jenna Ortega in Wednesday, Riley Keough, Daisy Jones in The Six, I don't know, Sadie Sink in Stranger Things, Selena Gomez, Only Murderers in the Building. I didn't even know Selena Gomez was doing TV shows. But Jenna Ortega
was fucking fine as fuck these days.
Selena Gomez?
Yeah.
I approve. I've been on that train since Wizards of Waverly Place. Uh, that just shows my age, by the way. That shows my age. I age my. But yeah, Jenna Ortega got the honors there. Best comedic performance: Adam Sandler in The Murder Mystery 2. Other nominees were Dylan O'Brien, Not Okay; Jennifer College,
Coolidge.
Coolidge, Shotgun Wedding; Kiki Palmer again in Nope; Keita Brunson in Abbott Elementary; Best Hero, Pedro Pascal in The Last of Us won that as well. Best Villain was Elizabeth Olsen in Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. So that's pretty cool. I'm glad she won it. Other nominees was Harry Styles, Jamie Campbell Bower, Megan, portrayed by Jenna Davis and Amy Donald. The Bear in Cocaine Bear was nominated as a best
That
villain.
should have won. The Bear and Cocaine Bear should have won.
But one could pose the argument: is the bear really the villain if it wasn't his purposeful intent to snort the cocaine?
The cocaine dealer was the villain in that.
Exactly. So that's why he didn't win, because people saw that the bear was not the villain of that story.
Question. That first category for actresses in a TV show that had Aubrey Plaza, Jenna Ortega, Christina Ricci, by the way, both of which played Wednesday Adam in their career, and Aubrey would have been a great Wednesday Adam. Who won that category?
Wait, which one?
The first one. It was actress in a TV show, I believe, or
best performance in the show was Jenna Ortega on Wednesday.
Of course,
yeah,
makes sense. Yeah,
everybody just like
we fucks with Wednesday.
Yeah. Best Kiss: Madison Bailey and Rudy Panko in Outer Banks. Cool.
I've not seen it.
We got to look up the Kiss. Most frightening performance was Jennifer Coolidge, you said, in The White Lotus.
So, have you seen American Pie?
Yeah.
Okay. Jennifer Coolidge is Stifler's mom. Yes.
I remember Stifler's mom. Best fight scene: Gale Weathers versus Ghostface in Scream 6.
Fucking right.
Yeah, that was a great fight scene. Best breakthrough performance: Joseph Quinn in Stranger Things. Best duo was Pedro Pascal and Bella Ramsey in The Last of Us.
Hell yeah.
Best kick-ass cast: Stranger Things. Best song: Carolina by Taylor Swift. Best musical moment: Come Back Home in Purple Hearts. And there's more stuff. There's more categories. If you want to check it out, go to variety.com.
Is there a best sex scene?
Let me check.
Because best performance would have been a good time to plug Adam and Eve too, but we needed a transition. And
yeah, no, I meant
butt stuff.
Yeah, you were talking about butt stuff, but I was trying to transition to the next topic, not into an ad. So that's why I was like,
but it worked because you said there's variety at Adam and Eve.
Yeah, exactly.
That's the variety article, so it all worked out.
No, unfortunately, I don't see any sex scenes. So,
boo.
Oh well, boo indeed.
I would give it to the DP scene from Evil Head that we just watched, but that didn't come out this year. So,
one of the shows that was listed off in there was Stranger Things, Matt, and you actually shared an article from thehill.com where it talks about the Netflix Stranger Things store is bringing the Upside Down to Las Vegas. So the article starts off saying Netflix is bringing the Upside Down to the Las Vegas with Stranger Things, the official store. The company announced in a press release, starting on Friday, May 26th, Stranger Things fans in Vegas can immerse in a world of supernatural mystery and 80s nostalgia. The store will be located inside the Showcase Mall on the Las Vegas Strip. It will open Monday through Saturday from 10 a.m. to 9 p.m. and Sunday from 10 a.m. to 8 p.m. Stranger Things, the official store, will have exclusive merchandise and interactive photo opportunities. Merchandise collections unique to the Las Vegas store will launch at the same time, including a pool collection and a Las Vegas capsule collection. So there goes on to talk more about the article, but the basis is there. What are your thoughts? You read this article. You actually shared this one with us, Matt. What do you think here?
My first thought was TC's a lucky motherfucker because it's going to be in Vegas. I fuck with Stranger Things big time. I enjoyed the show. I love it. I've watched everything. One of the saddest things that I didn't get was they had this really cool Stranger Things Lego set where it was Will's house, and then you flipped it upside down and it was Will's house in the upside down. It like rotated. I wanted to get that. I never did. But no, I mean, this is something cool for Vegas. This Stranger Things has been a huge thing for Netflix. So I'm all about it.
Yeah, no, it was a great thing. And you know what? We can visit. We can visit to Vegas on a weekend. We're both don't work Saturday and Sunday, Matt. We can schedule something, right?
I have a
Or
child. I can't just go to Vegas.
You can take a child. I mean, if like you get her started from a young age, and then you can give her a Stranger Things themed party like Justin did for his daughter.
It's a little bit of prep. Like you can't just up in 1 week and say, "Oh, I'm going to take the baby and go to Vegas." Like it's not how life works.
Yeah, I guess. Fair enough. Fair enough. This is why I'm trying to like keep the Daddy Delgado be a online name and not an actual title that I'm gonna carry on. I'm trying to. There's an order of operations I'm trying to go about here. You know.
Justin said the Stranger Things store here was dope. I'm sure Vegas would be better.
Mm-hmm.
Did you get some of your stuff for your party from that Stranger Things store?
Yeah, let us know.
I know he made a lot of shit.
Yeah, which is great. I'm happy for him. But like I said, Matt, kids probably not on the way, but you know, one thing that could be on the way for me could be a pet. And if once I do get a pet, a furry friend of my own, I can go ahead and go to dog.com because dog.com is your online dog supply shopping and information destination. Everything your dog needs from toys to treats and food is available, including collars and leashes. They even have outdoor gear and water safety gear for your furry friend, which is especially useful considering that it rains a lot here in Chicago and it's been raining. Yeah, it's raining right now, so you can hear the drizzling in the background. So if you have a dog and you want to take it for a walk while it's raining, you can get the gear over at dog.creatiaworld.com and you receive up to 64% off your order today. That is dog.creatiaworld.com. Matt, where's the link to that description?
I mean, the link would be in the description.
Yeah.
To the description of dog.com is in the description. I just thought you were taking a really long piss. I was like, Jesus Christ, Vince, wrap it up.
That in the background, you can hear it, right?
Yeah, just a little bit.
That's all right. It's all right. It's soothing. You know, it's what's that called?
ASMR.
Yeah, it's like that. We're soothing to the ears. Unfortunately, for Stranger Things fans, we have a little bit of a bump in the road, and it's not just weather issues, right?
Well, it wasn't just Stranger Things, but this is also, I believe I put in there, the reason why the MTV Movie Awards was not live as well.
That's where I should pivot next. Do you have that ready to go? You want to talk about that?
Well, it's the same thing. Literally, the two things that we're about to talk about are the same thing. There's a lot of news coming out about what's going on with the writer's strike, right?
Yeah, I think you shared the article. It's from CBSNews.com, where Drew Barrymore was supposed to be the host, but she dropped out because to show solidarity in the writer's strike in Hollywood.
But not just that, it's also why they decided it wouldn't be a live event. So in the wake of Drew Barrymore's decision to drop out as host of the upcoming MTV Movie and TV Awards, as a show of solidarity for the striking Hollywood writers, organizers have decided that Sunday's show will no longer be live event format. The news also comes after the Writers Guild of America announced Friday afternoon that it planned to picket outside the show, which was slated to be held at the Barker Hangar in Santa Monica, California. And in a statement provided to CBS News on Friday night, Bruce Gilmer, president of Music, Talent, and Programming and Events for Paramount Global, said that the show will be pivoting away from a live event that still enables us to produce a memorable night full of exclusive sneak peeks, irreverent categories our audience has come to expect, and countless moments that will both surprise and delight as we honor the best of film and TV over the past year. So, due to the writer's strike, which we've been covering extensively here on Creatia World, that's why it was no longer a live event format. It's why Drew Barrymore dropped out and why what you're about to talk about is happening.
Right. So we're going to pivot back onto that where I was going to. So this is actually coming from comicbook.com. The article is written by Adam Barnhart, who I believe is not a real name. Barnhart. Yeah, Barnhart, who calls themselves Barnhart.
It's a last name. It's like Neidhart.
That's still a made-up name, too. Stranger Things' final season is on hold due to the strike, Matt, is what the article says. At one point, the fifth and final season of Stranger Things was set to start filming in just a matter of weeks. Now, production on the last batch of episodes for the Netflix hit has been put on hold due to the ongoing Writers Guild of America strike. Saturday afternoon, the Duffer Brothers shared a brief statement through the official Twitter account on the show's writers' room, confirming pre-production is paused until the strike is resolved. Duffers here writing does not stop when filming begins. While we're excited to start production with our amazing cast and crew, it is not possible during this strike, the Duffer Brothers wrote. We hope a fair deal is reached soon so we can all get back to work. Until then, over and out. Hashtag W Gas Strong. WGSA Strong. WGA Strong.
Writers Guild
Mm-hmm.
is the WG.
Mm-hmm. WGA Strong. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So
Writers
yeah,
Guild of America, WGA Strong. Yeah.
right. Yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense, Matt. But yeah, so unfortunately, Stranger Things is one of the shows that's being affected due to this writer strike. And you know what? I'm not even going to sit here and complain about it. And it's not because I haven't actually watched Stranger Things. Maybe this is a good opportunity to actually start watching Stranger Things and catch up while the strike goes on.
Get caught up.
Yeah. Not only that, but it's all about equality. You want fair pay, you want fair compensation. You almost had a strike with your work situation. We don't have to go into detail, but
Thank you. There were things going on. Workers need to be paid a fair and equal wage. And Travis and I talked about this. Like, you just did the MTV movie and TV awards, right? Best performance, best movie, blah blah blah. You're not getting the writers of those shows up receiving awards. They don't. When you think about TV shows, when you think about movies, you talk about the actors, the people portraying the things and saying the words that are written for them. But without those writers, none of this would matter. So we wouldn't have any of this content, and they should be paid fairly and equally for their contribution to the product, which is probably the most important contribution to the product, because these actors have nothing to say, no words or scenes to act out without the writers creating them.
exactly.
And I don't know if were you gonna mention Blade as well, because that's
we're gonna talk about Blade too.
Because again, it's the same line of shit. Like Stranger Things being down, the movie awards and everything that happened with that over at MTV, Blade, and so many other shows are affected, and they're affected because the writers are so important, and they should be compensated for their work fairly.
Yeah, and I'm here for it. It sucks that that's gonna happen. That shows are being postponed and until this happens. But it's important, and hopefully they just come to a fair and speedy resolution. That's all we can really hope for as fans. But yeah, so also come from the comicbook.com. This is from Jenna Anderson. Marvel's Blade reboot shuts down due to writer strikes. Marvel's long-awaited reboot of Blade appears to be stalled once again on Friday. The Hollywood Reporter confirmed that pre-production on Blade has shut down amid the ongoing Writers Guild of America strike. Cast and crew members were reportedly informed of the decision on Friday afternoon. Production on Blade was previously expected to begin production in Atlanta at some point in June. This comes after it was announced that True Detective creator Nick Pizzolatto was penning the most recent iteration of the Blade script just days before the writer's strike went into effect. So that's something we actually covered here on Creatia Conversation. What was it, like a week or two ago, when it was announced that they had a new writer? So actually, no, we actually covered it last week on Monday with Katie. So we actually talked about that. And then what's crazy is that this Blade movie is probably it's so stop and go. It's like getting to the point where, like, do I even care if it's going to come out at this point?
I do. I was listening to Young Kings Wrestling, and Katie was on there, and they were talking about Marvel movies because we just had Guardians of the Galaxy 3 come out. Katie hadn't seen it. I think she posted on Twitter that she's watching it today, and I think she said the same thing on the show when they recorded. But TC had said he didn't watch the Eternals. Well, a big part of the ending of the Eternals is a tease at Blade. It's one of those things that ties the Eternals into the MCU where they kind of seem like outliers and everyone's like, oh, you don't have to watch it. It's not important, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
But this Blade movie does kind of make it a little bit important and starts introducing some of those things. So, also, I was a huge fan of the Wesley Snipes films, Blade 2 being my favorite of the three. But shout out to our boy Paul Triple H Levesque for his little cameo in Blade 3 with Dracula, along with Ryan Reynolds and Jessica Biel.
Yeah, shout out.
I'm excited for it. I want to see it. I'd love to have Blade in the MCU as canon and see how that works and where that goes. We already saw how bad Morbius did.
But you know what? It was so bad I enjoyed it. But I wouldn't go back and rewatch it. It was just one of those movies like I'm gonna watch it because I knew it was so bad. And it spawned like this whole thing where like people were like hyping it up like tongue-in-cheek style, where it was like, oh, it's such a great movie. It was
Sony did it, that's why.
Yeah. But yeah, so unfortunately, we'll see what happens with Blade. I do want to see that because I did like the original movies that came out. So I don't know. I like seeing the variety and the representation in Marvel recently, especially when you see characters like Moon Knight, Namor, Miss Marvel. You know, just to name a few. Like I like to see all that representation. Some diversity. Oh, Shang-Chi, another one of my favorite ones from Phase 4. We're gonna wrap things up. I didn't put this in the thing because I found it right before we were about to go live on Twitter. And
wrap it up.
Someone has to, right? I'm trying to keep
the Daddy Delgado gimmick forever.
I mean, eventually at some point it's gonna be I'm gonna shoot my way into a real gimmick there, but work my way into a shoot is the phrasing I was looking for.
Oh no, shoot your way into the gimmick. That worked too. You know, shoot your load.
Shoot your way to the top of the gimmick. So this actually came from James Gunn and the new Superman Legacy movie. I know you don't really care that much, but Crypto the Superdog is confirmed to be in the movie. Any thoughts on that, Matt?
I like Crypto. I watched Super Pets where The Rock voiced Crypto. Travis and I just talked on Friday when we did a little Titans recap about where the fuck is Crypto over in Titans. So I don't mind dogs having superpowers, all the superpowers, blah, 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 blah. It's just this overly good fucking character of Superman and his red and blue and all that, you know, whatever.
Question.
Yes.
Did you play the Injustice games?
I did.
How did you like the evil version of Superman compared to
I like
regular?
So one of the things that I enjoyed about Man of Steel was the fact that Superman broke his goody two shoe bullshit and killed Zod, like snapped his neck. I was like, all right, cool. I can get about that. Like I'm down with that.
Yeah.
So yeah, no, I like evil Superman. I just don't like goody two shoes. Clark Kent Superman has all the powers, can't do anything wrong.
Yeah. All right. I get that. Okay, so aside from that, James Gunn has announced the cast for Superman Legacy, and we actually have a former Guardian of the Galaxy joining the cast for that movie as a voice actor because it's going to be an animated film, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. So yeah, let's look at the cast. So you have Jimmy Urine as Superman. Or Urian, whatever. I can't pronounce names. Jennifer Holland as Lois Lane. Michael Rooker as Lex Luthor. You have Sean Gunn that's going to be voicing Crypto, so that's going to be James Gunn's brother. It's going to be voicing him. Pete Davidson is going to be Jimmy Olsen in the film, and Chris Pratt is going to be Perry White.
Fun fact: I don't fuck with Pete Davidson.
Me either. I don't hate him. I just don't care for him. But yeah, so yeah, we have Chris Pratt joining the DCEU. Any thoughts on that?
It makes sense. We've seen James Gunn do this before. When he did Suicide Squad, he brought in Michael Rooker, who played as Yondu. I actually literally just saw something. I don't know if it was on Twitter or on Facebook, but it was all the people that were in Suicide Squad that were also featured in Guardians of the Galaxy.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a cool thing that they do, despite people's feelings about James Gunn and some of the controversy around him. In these movies where you see it with Quentin Tarantino, where a lot of his movies feature a lot of the same actors from previous films and things like that. And
Right.
I'm not mad at it. I'm down for it. Like,
Oh, okay. You made it like a face. You made like this O face, and you I thought you paused and you froze. So I was like, is he just making an O face, or did he freeze there?
yeah,
I mean, I don't personally care. I haven't watched Guardians, so no spoilers in the chat, please, 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 please. I'm not going until Friday. I was trying to go yesterday, but unfortunately, Shake came about, and I couldn't go. So I'm gonna go Friday to go see Guardians. And Katie actually went to go see Guardians today. She's probably finishing up the movie or in the middle of the movie while we're shooting this right now. And have you watched it yet, Matt?
I have not. I was thinking about going next weekend. Probably not. So I might be 2 weeks out from catching it.
All right. Well, I'll keep it spoiler free.
I appreciate that.
Yeah.
We have a Discord, so you can go talk about spoilers with everyone that's seen it. If you want.
Oh, that's true.
Do
That's
that.
true. That's true. But yeah, aside from that, that's all I got for us today. Wrapping up the show, thought that was a good way to end things. We started off hot with WWE and fizzled off with some crypto news. By the way, Chris Pratt said a joke when he was doing it like an interview. In the interview, he's like, "Yeah, I'll voice crypto, but you're gonna have to pay me in crypto."
It's funny too, because when I asked Kate, I was like, hey, it's Mother's Day weekend. We've got these plans, blah, blah, blah. Would you want me to get a babysitter for Zoe and we could go see Guardians of the Galaxy 3 Saturday night? And she said, I really don't want to waste my Mother's Day on Chris Pratt.
Well, it's Mother's Day. How are you gonna celebrate Mother's Day without the element that makes her a mother? You have to have the daughter present.
Well, we're gonna do stuff with Zoe, but I meant because Zoe goes to bed around 7, having somebody come watch her after she goes to bed, coming out, spend a couple hours at the movies after she's in bed, and then coming home.
Yeah. Maybe you get a chance. Maybe not. In the meantime, where can people find you, Matt, if they want to go ahead and find out if you've watched the movie or not?
They can go to creatiaworld.com, where they can learn all about us. How big Vince's dick is, how often and what kind of condoms he uses. All that stuff might be available there. Also, things about me, but you'll never know unless you go click the link and find out. Also, they can follow me at Matt Ridders, at MATTRIDDER on Twitter only, or at Getting Off. This weekend, after Kate goes to bed, when I like to do all my podcasting so that I'm not interrupting family time, Getting Off is returning with, as Vince kind of mentioned, Final Destination review. It looks like it will be me and hopefully all of, or at least the majority of the core 4, and Bakley from Cage My IQ. Discussing
so Bakley comes on Getting Off before me. Come on.
Listen, you said you wanted to be on Saw. Bakley hit me up and said he wanted to be on Final Destination after I posted it, and Final Destination won. So you need to be mad at the people that voted for Final Destination and not at me.
The fact that Bakley is coming on to do your horror podcast before your co-host on a SmackDown podcast is criminal. Criminal. You should have just said fuck the poem. Like, you know what? Vince has said from the start of this podcast that he wants to talk about Saw. Let me find a good point in time to talk about it. I don't know, man.
To quote the best friends, Vince, you got to give the people what they want, and what they want is Final Destination. So I can't help you there.
The Final Destination is us covering Saw.
That is not the Final Destination, but that'll probably be about 2 weeks out. So I will have you on.
We'll figure it out. We'll figure it out. But in the meantime, you guys should head over and support us on Patreon. That is patreon.com/CreatiaWorld, where you can donate at least $1 a day, because $1 a day goes a long way. And you get exclusive content. You get multiverse with Travis and Mara, and you get Return to Wrestling with Matt and Travis. So in Return to Wrestling, you talk about old WCW episodes. You can watch LWO, the formation of the OGs over there. Watch some classic 97 Halloween Havoc with Rey Mysterio and Eddie Guerrero. And there's other wrestlers that aren't Mexican as well on WCW back in the day. Then there's like DC Universe where they talk about in multiverse between Travis and Mara. One of the films was the Injustice films, and that's one that I really want to watch. So it's in my queue. It's in my queue to watch. So yeah, go ahead and check us out. Patreon.com. It's only $1. You get all the back catalog, and you get the newer episodes whenever they come out. So that really appreciate that. But if you want to watch this for free, after you have some free time, after you get done doing some free pleasure to yourself from adamandeve.com, you can go to pornhub.com/model/Creatia World and watch us there. The replays are there. It's Matt's favorite place to watch us. So pleasure Matt's. Tickle his fancy by watching us over there. And aside from that, we're also on Facebook, facebook.com/Creatia World. We got 2 groups there. Facebook.com/group/them dragons and also /Smacking Raw, where we talk about Games of Thrones, House of the Dragons, Smacking Raw. The Smacking Raw one talks about wrestling, so it's live chat for every single wrestling show. So go ahead and check that out. Follow us on the social media at TikTok, Instagram, and Twitter at It's Creatia World. It's all uniform, so it's easy for everyone to find. Go ahead and follow us there so you know when we go live. Aside from that, you can follow me on Instagram and Twitter at SESVince. The link tree in my bio takes you to everything straight talk, Creatia World, Smacking Raw, and Get Your Podcast. It's all good content there. We just recently did a WWE Draft mock draft with Katie Kinsey Bebe from Chili Showcase and 1/3 of Smacking Raw podcast. She was the GM for Raw. I was the GM for SmackDown. I got to make a graphic for my SmackDown roster. I've already made one for her Raw roster. We're going to post it up. So it's going to be available later on today on Spotify and all other audio platforms. So just make sure you check that out for sure. But the video version's already up on my YouTube, youtube.com/SESVince. And yeah, subscribe there. Subscribe to Creatia World. Subscribe everywhere. Yeah. Anything else, Matt?
I think that's it.
All right. So for the Warden, Matt Ritter, and myself, this has
quintessential stud muffin of podcasting, by the way. That's a thing that you should be saying now.
Quintessential stud muffin of podcasting. I'll think about it. We'll catch you guys tomorrow. Later.
Peace.